Jake Morrison stared at the screens in front of him. The bright lights hurt his eyes, but he could not look away. Something big was happening. The communication room at Earth Defense Command was full of people running around. Everyone looked. "Scared. Double quotes, sir. We're getting a message from space," said Lieutenant Amy Foster. Her voice was shaking. "It's not from any of our ships." Jake felt his stomach drop. For years, people had wondered if aliens were real. Now they had their answer. He walked over to the main screen where Dr. Lisa Bennett was working. She was the best person on Earth at understanding alien languages. "What does it say?" Jake asked. Lisa looked up at him. Her face was white with fear. "It's not good news, Commander. They're giving us a choice. We can surrender in 72 hours, or they will destroy us all." The room went quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing. Jake could hear his own heart beating in his chest. He had been a soldier for 20 years, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. "Read it to me," Jake said. Lisa cleared her throat and began to read from the screen. "To the humans of Earth, we are the Zephyrian Empire. We have watched your planet for many years. You are a violent species that destroys everything you touch. You fight wars. You poison your air and water. You build weapons that can kill millions." She paused and looked at Jake. "Should I continue?" "Yes, we need to hear it all. You are not fit to live among the stars. You will surrender your planet to us in 72 hours. If you do not surrender, we will destroy every city, every building, every human life. This is not a request. This is your final warning." Jake felt anger rising in his chest. Who were these aliens to judge them? But he also felt fear. If the aliens could send messages to Earth, they probably had the power to destroy it too. How? "Many ships do they have?" Jake asked. A young officer named Danny Walsh spoke up from across the room. "Sir, our satellites show 300 large ships moving toward Earth. Each one is the size of a city." Jake closed his eyes. 300 ships. Even if every country on Earth worked together, they might not be able to stop so many enemies. "Gad." "Me, General Carter, on the phone," Jake said. "And contact the President. She needs to know about this right away." While they waited for the calls to go through, Jake looked at the alien message again. Something about it bothered him. The aliens seemed very sure of themselves. They talked about humans like they were insects to be stepped on. "Lisa, what do you think about their language?" Jake asked. "It's strange," she said. "They use very simple words, like they're talking to children. But the way they built the message is complex. They're much more advanced than us." Danny Walsh came over to them. He was young, but very smart about technology. "Commander, I found something interesting in their message." "What is it?" "They didn't just send us words. They sent other information too. Technical data about their ships and weapons. I think they did it by accident." Jake felt a spark of hope. "What kind of information?" "Details about how their shields work. The power systems on their ships. I think they're showing off. They want you as to know how powerful they are." "But that means we can study their technology," Lisa said. "Exactly," Danny replied. "And I already found something. Their shields have a weakness. If we hit them with the right kind of energy, we might be able to get through." Jake thought about this. The aliens were powerful, but they were also proud. Maybe too proud. They had sent technical information about their ships because they wanted to scare humans. But instead, they had given humans a way to fight back. The phone rang. It was General Carter. "Jake, I just heard the news." "How bad is it?" "Very bad, sir, but maybe not hopeless. We have some new information that might help. I'm calling an emergency. Meeting of the United Earth Council. President Rodriguez needs to hear this. Can you and your team come to Washington? Yes, sir. We'll be there in 2 hours. Jake hung up the phone and looked around the room. Everyone was watching him. These people had families, friends, children. In 72 hours, they might all be dead. Listen up, everyone, Jake said. The aliens think we're just stupid animals. They think we'll roll over and die when they threaten us. But they don't. Know humans very well. He walked to the center of the room. We've been fighting wars for thousands of years. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and disasters. We've never given up, and we're not going to start now. Amy Foster stepped forward. What do you want us to do, Commander? We're going to Washington to meet with the President. But before we go, I want you to copy all this alien data. Send it to every military base, every university, every scientist who might be able to help us. Sir, that information is supposed to be classified, said another officer. Jake looked at him. In 72 hours, there might not be anyone left to keep secrets from. We need every smart person on Earth working on this problem. As his team got ready to leave, Jake took one last look at the alien message. The Zephyrians had made a mistake. They thought showing their power would make humans afraid. But humans had been afraid before. They had faced enemies that seemed impossible to beat. And somehow, they had always found a way to win. The countdown. Clock on the screen showed 71 hours and 37 minutes. Not much time, but maybe enough. Jake Morrison had been a soldier long enough to know that the best plans came from the worst situations. The aliens wanted to destroy humanity, but they had also given humans the tools to fight back. Now it was time to see what humans could do when they had nothing left to lose. The war for Earth was about to begin, and Jake Morrison planned to make sure humanity was ready. Colonel Amy Foster drove through the night toward the Colorado mountains. The road was dark and empty. Most people did not know this road existed. Most people did not know what waited at the end of it. She pulled up to a gate that looked like it protected a small office building, but Amy knew better. She put her hand on a scanner and spoke into a microphone. This is Colonel Foster. I have orders from General Carter. The gate opened. Amy drove down a tunnel that went deep into the mountain. After 10 minutes, she reached a huge underground facility. The sign on the wall said, Project Valkyrie, authorized personnel only. Amy had been working on this project for 5 years. Even her family did not know what she did for work. They thought she was just another Army officer who pushed papers. Around. Dr. Kevin Murphy met her at the elevator. He was a thin man with gray hair and thick glasses. He looked like he had not slept in days. Amy, thank God you're here, he said. We got the message about the aliens. Is it real? It's real. We have 72 hours before they attack. Kevin's face went pale. That's not enough time. We need months to test everything properly. We don't have months. We have what we have. They rode the elevator down 20 levels. When the doors opened, Amy saw something that always took her breath away. The facility was the size of 10 football fields. Hundreds of people worked at computers and machines. In the center of the room stood something that looked like a spaceship. Is it ready? Amy asked. The ship is ready. The weapons are ready. But we've never tested them against real alien technology. Amy looked at the ship. It was not as big as the alien vessels, but it was beautiful. Sleek and fast, built with the best human technology. But it also had something else. Parts that came from alien ships that had crashed on Earth over the past 20 years. Kevin, we need to talk about the other projects. He nodded and led her to a secure room. On the walls were pictures of strange devices and weapons. Each one was built from alien technology that humans had found and studied. The quantum disruption. Devices are our best hope, Kevin said. If the alien data is correct, these can break through their shields. How many do we have? 50. We can put them on our ships or fire them from Earth. But Amy, we don't know if they'll work. We've tested them on our own shields, but alien technology might be different. Amy nodded. She had known this day would come. For 20 years, governments around the world had been preparing for contact with aliens. Not the friendly kind from movies, but the kind that wanted to destroy humanity. What about the defense network? She asked. Kevin smiled for the first time. That's our secret weapon. The aliens have been watching us, but they only saw what we wanted them to see. They think our space program is just for exploration. They don't know about the weapons platforms. He showed her a map of the solar system. Dozens of red dots marked the locations of hidden weapons. They were disguised as research stations, communication satellites, and mining operations. We have enough firepower to hurt them, Kevin said, but not enough to stop them. Not unless we get lucky. Amy thought about this. Luck was not something she liked to depend on. But sometimes luck was all you had. What about the other countries? Are they ready? Captain Helen Brooks is coordinating with resistance groups around the world. Everyone is sharing information. Now, the Chinese gave us their quantum computer research. The Russians shared their plasma weapon designs. Even the small countries are helping however they can. Amy felt a surge of hope. When humans worked together, they could do amazing things. Too bad it took the end of the world to make them cooperate. I need to see the ship, Amy said. They went back to the main floor. Up close, the ship was even more impressive. It was called the Defiant, and it was the first true human warship. Built in secret over 10 years, it combined human engineering with alien technology. How fast is it? Amy asked. Faster than anything we've ever built. Maybe? Fast enough to outrun the aliens. The weapons are powerful too. We have human missiles and alien energy weapons. Amy walked around the ship. It was beautiful, but she could see the fear in the workers' faces. They knew what was coming. They knew this ship might be humanity's last hope. Kevin, I need to ask you something. Do you think we can win? He was quiet for a long time. Amy, the aliens are more advanced than us. They have more ships, better weapons, stronger shields. If this was just about technology, we would lose. But they don't understand humans. They think we're just violent animals. They don't know about human creativity, human determination, human refusal to give up. They've never fought an enemy that fights back the way we do. Amy thought about this. Throughout history, humans had faced enemies that seemed impossible to beat. Big armies, natural disasters, diseases. But humans always found a way to survive. They adapted, they learned, they fought back. There's something else, Kevin said. We've been studying the alien message. Dr. Murphy thinks the aliens have never lost a war. They're used to enemies that surrender when they show up. What does that mean? It means they might not know how to fight a real war. They're used scaring people into giving up, but humans don't scare easily. Amy nodded. She had been in combat before. She knew that the most dangerous enemy was not always the strongest one. Sometimes it was the one who refused to quit. How many ships do we have? 12 like this one, hidden in bases around the solar system, plus about 200 smaller fighters. It's not much compared to 300 alien ships, but it's better than nothing. Amy looked at the countdown clock on the wall. 68 hours left. Not much time, but maybe enough. Kevin, I want you to send a message to all our hidden bases. Tell them to prepare for battle. And tell them something else. What? Tell them that humans have been preparing for this fight their whole lives. Every war we've fought, every weapon. We've built every lesson we've learned. It was all leading to this moment. Kevin smiled. I'll tell them. Amy left the facility feeling better than when she had arrived. The aliens thought they were dealing with primitive humans. But they were wrong. Humans had been preparing for this war for decades. They had built weapons, trained soldiers, and learned from their mistakes. The aliens wanted to destroy humanity. But they had made one big mistake. They had given humans time to prepare. And when humans had time to prepare, they became very dangerous. Amy looked up at the stars as she drove away. Somewhere out there, alien ships were coming to destroy her world, but they would find humans ready and waiting. The war for Earth was about to begin, and humanity would not go quietly into the night. President Maria Rodriguez stood in the war room deep beneath the White House. The countdown clock showed 6 hours and 12 minutes until the alien deadline. Around the table sat the most powerful people on Earth: General Carter, Admiral Stone, and representatives from every major country. What's our final decision? President Rodriguez asked. We fight, said General Carter. Every nation has agreed. We will not surrender our planet to these aliens. President Rodriguez nodded. She had hoped for peace, but sometimes war was the only choice. The aliens had made their decision when they threatened to destroy humanity. Now humans would make theirs. Dr. Bennett, is the message ready? Dr. Lisa Bennett looked up from her computer. Yes, Madam President, but I want to make sure you understand what we're doing. This message will seem like we're asking for mercy, but hidden inside, it is something very different. Explain it to me again. The aliens use quantum frequencies to communicate. We've learned to hide our real message in those same frequencies. When their ships get close to Earth, our message will activate. It will tell them something they don't expect to hear. President. Rodriguez had read the message many times. It was not what most people would expect from a planet about to be destroyed. It was not a plea for mercy or a cry for help. It was something much more dangerous. Send it, she said. Lisa pressed a button. Across the Earth, powerful transmitters sent the message toward the alien fleet. To anyone listening, it would sound like humans begging for their lives. But the real message was very different. In space, Lieutenant Commander Ryan Phillips watched the alien ships from a hidden base on the moon. He had been living in this secret facility for 2 years. The aliens did not know it existed. They thought the moon was empty, except for a few research stations. Sir, the message has been sent, reported Lieutenant Kate Wilson. Ryan looked at the screens showing the alien fleet. 300 massive ships, each one bigger than anything humans had ever built. They were beautiful in a terrifying way. Smooth and silver, they moved through space like giant fish swimming through water. How long until they reach Earth? Ryan asked. 4 hours, sir. Ryan thought about his family back on Earth. His wife Sarah, his 2 children. They were in a safe bunker, but no place would be safe if the aliens won. Everything depended on the next few hours. Activate the lunar defense systems, he ordered. Around the moon, weapons that had been hidden for years began to move. They looked like ordinary mining equipment, but they were really powerful guns. The aliens had watched humans build these facilities, but they had no idea what they were really for. Back on Earth, Dr. Rachel Kim was working frantically in her laboratory. She had been studying the alien communication system for weeks. Every message the aliens sent gave her more information about how their ships worked. I found it, she said to her team. The aliens control their entire fleet from one command ship. If we can destroy that ship, the rest will be confused and helpless. Her assistant, Dr. Mike Johnson, looked at the data. How do we know which ship is the command ship? It's the one sending all the orders. Look at these communication patterns. Every few minutes, one ship sends messages to all the others. That's our target. Rachel sent this information to all the human military bases. It was the kind of discovery that could change everything. The aliens were powerful, but they had made their fleet like a single organism. Cut off the head, and the body would die. On Earth, weapon systems that had been hidden for decades began to activate. The aliens had been watching human cities, but they had not been watching carefully enough. Every major city had defense systems built into its buildings, power plants that were really weapons, bridges that could become missile launchers, office buildings that hid anti-aircraft guns. Captain Helen Brooks coordinated the global defense network from a bunker in Switzerland. She had representatives from every country on Earth helping her. For the first time in human history, everyone was working together. China reports their quantum disruptors are ready, said one officer. Russia says their plasma cannons are charged, said another. The United States confirms all hidden weapons are online. Helen looked at the global map. Thousands of weapons were ready to fire. It was not enough to stop the aliens, but it might be enough to hurt them badly. What about our space forces? She asked. Admiral Stone reports all ships are in position. They're hidden behind asteroids and on the dark side of the moon. The aliens won't see them coming. Helen nodded. The plan was simple but dangerous. Let the aliens get close to Earth, then hit them with everything humanity had. It was their only chance. 4 hours later, the alien fleet reached Earth's orbit. The ships were even bigger than the humans had thought. Each one was like a floating city, covered in weapons and shields. The lead ship sent a message to Earth. Dr. Bennett translated it quickly. They're asking for our surrender, she told President Rodriguez. They want a response in 1 hour. What? Do we tell them? Nothing. We let them think we're too scared to answer. The aliens waited for an hour and sent another message. This one was angry. They said humans had 1 more hour to surrender, or they would begin the attack. President Rodriguez looked around the war room. Everyone was ready. The weapons were charged, the ships were in position, and the message was about to activate. 1 hour, she said. Then we show them what humans are really made of. High above Earth, the alien ships began to move into attack formation. They were confident and proud. They had destroyed many planets before. This would be easy, but hidden in the quantum frequencies of their own communication system, humanity's real message was about to activate. And when it did, the aliens would learn something they had never expected. The message was simple. You wanted to know if humanity is ready for war. We have been ready for war since we first looked up at the stars and wondered what was out there. The question is not whether we are ready for war. The question is whether you are ready for humanity. In 1 hour, the aliens would have their answer, and humanity would show them that some species do not go quietly into the night. Some species fight back with everything they have. Some species would rather die on their feet than live on their knees. The war for Earth was about to begin, and humanity was ready. The quantum message activated exactly 1 hour after the final alien ultimatum. Captain Nicole Adams was flying her fighter ship behind an asteroid when it happened. She watched through her scope as the alien fleet suddenly stopped moving. What's happening to them? Asked her wingman, Lieutenant Tony Martinez. I think they just got our real message, Nicole replied. On the alien ships, warning lights began flashing. The hidden quantum signal had done more than deliver humanity's message. It had also activated the disruption devices that Dr. Murphy had built into the signal itself. Commander Jake Morrison watched from Earth as the alien shields began to flicker. The quantum disruption was working. For the first time, the aliens looked vulnerable. All units, this is command, Jake said into his radio. Begin the attack. Repeat, begin the attack. Around Earth, weapons that had been hidden for decades revealed themselves. The aliens had been watching a peaceful planet. Now they saw it transform into a fortress. Every city, every building, every structure had been built with this moment in mind. Nicole Adams led the first wave of fighters toward the alien fleet. Her ship was small compared to the massive alien vessels, but it was fast and hard to hit. More importantly, it carried quantum disruption missiles that could penetrate alien shields. Remember, Nicole told her squadron, we're not trying to destroy them all. We just need to get them confused and scared. Make them think twice about attacking Earth. The first human missiles hit the alien ships. The aliens were shocked. Their shields, which had protected them for centuries, were failing. The small human ships were actually hurting them. On the alien command ship, Fleet Commander Zarthok stared at his screens in disbelief. How are their primitive weapons getting through our shields? Sir, they're using some kind of quantum disruption technology, reported his aide. It's interfering with our shield generators. Zarthok had conquered 50 worlds. He had never seen anything like this. The humans were supposed to be helpless. Instead, they were fighting back with weapons that could actually hurt his fleet. Launch all fighters, he ordered. Destroy these insects. Thousands of alien fighter ships poured out of the big vessels. They were sleek and fast, much more advanced than human fighters. But the humans had something the aliens did not expect. They were not afraid to die. Lieutenant Commander Ryan Phillips watched from the lunar base as the space battle began. Human and alien ships weaved between each other in a deadly dance. The aliens were better pilots, but the humans were more desperate. Sir, we're losing ships fast, reported Lieutenant Wilson. The aliens are too strong. Then it's time for Phase 2, Ryan said. Activate the hidden weapons platforms. Around the solar system, structures that had looked like mining stations and research facilities revealed their true purpose. Massive guns emerged from asteroid surfaces. Missile launchers rose from what had seemed like empty moon bases. The aliens suddenly found themselves surrounded by weapons. On Earth, General Carter was commanding the ground defense. The aliens had started dropping soldiers onto the planet's surface. But they quickly discovered that conquering Earth would not be easy. Sir, the aliens are landing in New York, reported Colonel Steve Adams. Let them come, Carter replied. Every citizen in that city has been trained for this moment. The aliens expected to find helpless civilians. Instead, they found a population that had been preparing for invasion for 20 years. Every adult had military training. Every building was designed to be a fortress. Every street was a killing zone. Dr. Jennifer Walsh was in a bunker beneath Chicago, working on captured alien equipment. The quantum disruption had allowed human forces to damage several alien ships. Now she was studying their technology to find more weaknesses. I've got something, she told her team. The aliens use a central computer to control all their ships. If we can hack into it, we might be able to turn their own weapons against them. She worked frantically while the battle raged above. The alien computer system was complex, but it was also arrogant. The aliens had never expected anyone to be able to break into it. Got it, Jennifer said. I'm uploading a virus into their command network. It will make their ships attack each other. In space, Admiral Linda Thompson was commanding the human fleet from the bridge of the Defiant. Her ships were outnumbered 10-1, but they were fighting with the desperation of people defending their home. Admiral, 3 alien ships are breaking through our lines, reported Captain Helen Brooks. They're heading for Earth. Not on my watch, Linda replied. All ships follow me. We're going to ram them. The human ships charged directly at the alien vessels. It was a suicide mission, but it was the only way to stop them from reaching Earth. The aliens were shocked by this tactic. In all their wars, they had never faced an enemy willing to die to stop them. Two of the alien ships were destroyed by the ramming attack. The third was damaged, but still moving toward Earth. That's when the planet's surface. Defenses opened fire. The aliens had thought Earth's weapons were primitive. They were wrong. Hidden missile systems launched thousands of rockets at once. Energy weapons that had been disguised as power plants opened fire. The alien ship was hit by everything humans could throw at it. Back in space, the virus that Dr. Walsh had created was spreading through the alien fleet. Ships that had been firing at humans suddenly turned their weapons on each other. The aliens were confused and scared. "What's happening to our ships?" Zarthok demanded. "Sir, something has infected our computer systems," his aide replied. "Our ships are attacking each other." Zarthok realized he had made a terrible mistake. He had thought humans were primitive animals, but they were actually a species that had spent thousands of years learning how to fight. They understood war in ways that the aliens did not. "Pull back," he ordered. "Retreat to safe distance." But it was too late. The human quantum disruption network had spread throughout the alien fleet. Their ships were helpless. Their weapons were turning against them. And the humans showed no mercy. Captain Nicole Adams pressed her attack, leading her remaining fighters against the alien command ship. She knew this was humanity's chance. If they could destroy the alien leader, the rest of the fleet would fall apart. "This is for Earth," she said as she fired her last missile. The missile hit the command ship's bridge. Zarthok and his command crew were killed instantly. Without their leader, the alien fleet began to panic. Ships that had been perfectly coordinated now flew in chaos. The humans pressed their advantage, hitting the confused aliens with everything they had. The tide of battle was turning. On Earth, the alien ground forces were being pushed back. They had expected easy victory, but instead found themselves fighting. A planet where every citizen was a soldier. The humans fought from every building, every street, every shadow. The battle raged for hours. Ships exploded in the darkness of space. Cities burned on Earth's surface. But slowly, surely, the humans were winning. The aliens had made a fatal error. They had judged humanity by their own standards. They saw chaos and violence and thought it made humans weak. But humanity's violent nature was not a weakness. It was their greatest strength. When faced with extinction, humans did not surrender. They fought harder. Colonel Gary Martinez knew he was about to die. His ship was damaged and leaking air, but he had one last mission. The alien command ship was wounded, but still fighting. Someone had to finish it. "This is Colonel Martinez to all units," he said into his radio. "I'm going to ram the command ship. Tell my family I love them." "Gary, wait," came the voice of Admiral Thompson. "We can find another way." "No time," Gary replied. "If that ship gets away, they'll come back with more ships. This ends now." Gary pushed his engines to maximum power. His small fighter ship accelerated toward the massive alien vessel. The aliens tried to shoot him down, but their weapons were damaged from the earlier attacks. The fighter ship hit the alien command vessel like a bullet. The explosion was so bright that people on Earth could see it in the night sky. When the light faded, the alien command ship was gone. Without their leader, the remaining alien ships began to retreat. They had lost more than half their fleet. The humans had done something no other species had ever done. They had defeated the mighty Zephyrian Empire. Captain Nicole Adams watched the alien ships fleeing toward deep space. Her fighter squadron had been reduced to just 12 ships out of 50. But they were alive, and Earth was safe. "All units, this is command," came Jake Morrison's voice. "Do not pursue the fleeing ships. Let them go. Let them tell the galaxy what happened here." Nicole understood. The aliens who escaped would carry a message to every world in the galaxy. Humanity was not a species to be conquered. They were a species to be feared. On Earth, the cities were burning, but the people were celebrating. They had won the impossible victory. The alien ground forces were either dead or surrendering. The planet was free. President Rodriguez stood in the ruins of Washington, D.C. Much of the city had been destroyed in the fighting, but the people were alive. That was what mattered. "My fellow humans," she said into the cameras, "today we faced our greatest challenge. An alien empire tried to destroy us. They said we were too violent, too primitive, too dangerous to live among the stars." She paused and looked at the damaged city around her. They were right about one thing. We are dangerous. We are dangerous to anyone who threatens our freedom. We are dangerous to anyone who tries to destroy our families. We are dangerous to anyone who underestimates the human spirit. The speech was broadcast not just to Earth, but to the fleeing alien ships. The humans wanted to make sure the message was clear. Dr. Emily Johnson was in her laboratory, working on the alien communication system. She had learned to use their quantum frequencies to send messages across the galaxy. Now she was sending humanity's final message to the stars. "The message is ready," she told Commander Morrison. "Send it," he replied. The message went out to every world in the galaxy. It was simple but powerful. To all species who can hear this message. The planet Earth has been attacked by the Zephyrian Empire. We have defeated them. We are human. We are not primitive. We are not helpless. We are not afraid. Any species that threatens our world will face the same fate as the Zephyrians. We offer friendship to those who come in peace. We offer war to those who come in violence. Choose wisely." The message was heard on 1,000 worlds. Some alien species were frightened. Others were impressed. All of them now knew that humanity was not to be underestimated. In the months that followed, Earth began to rebuild. The cost of victory had been high. Millions of humans had died defending their world. Entire cities had been destroyed. But the planet was free. Commander Morrison stood in the new communication center, built from the ruins of the old one. The screens showed signals from across the galaxy. Some were from alien species offering friendship. Others were from enemies making threats. "Sir, we're getting a message from the Altair system," reported Lieutenant Foster. "They want to establish trade relations." "And this one is from the Vega colonies," added Dr. Bennett. "They're offering to share medical technology." Morrison nodded. Word was spreading that humanity was open to peaceful contact. But they were also ready for war. "What about the hostile signals?" he asked. 3 different species have sent threats," Bennett replied. "They say they will succeed where the Zephyrians failed." Morrison smiled. "Send them the same message we sent the Zephyrians. Tell them we're ready for war." The truth was, humanity had changed. The attack had united the species in ways that nothing else could. Countries that had been enemies for centuries were now allies. People who had never thought about space were now building weapons to defend against alien attacks. Children in schools learned about the Battle of Earth. They studied the heroes who had saved their world. They learned that freedom was not free, that peace required strength, that sometimes good people had to fight terrible wars. Admiral Thompson, now in charge of Earth's space fleet, was overseeing the construction of new ships. They were bigger and more powerful than anything humans had built before. But they were also designed with lessons learned from the alien attack. "How many ships will we have in the next year?" President Rodriguez asked during a briefing. 500 combat vessels, Thompson replied, plus 1,000 fighters and 200 support ships. "We're also building weapons platforms throughout the solar system. And if the aliens come back, they'll find us much better prepared. We've learned from their technology. We've studied their tactics. Next time, we'll be ready from the beginning." The president nodded. The alien attack had been a disaster, but it had also been a gift. It had shown humanity what they were capable of when they worked together. It had proven that humans could survive anything if they refused to give up. Years passed. New generations grew up knowing that Earth was part of a vast galaxy full of other species. Some were friendly, some were hostile. All of them knew that. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Commander Morrison, now an old man, still worked in the communications center. He listened to the signals from space, monitoring threats and opportunities. The galaxy was a dangerous place, but humans had found their place in it. "Sir, we're getting a message from the outer colonies," reported a young officer. "They've made contact with a new species. They seem friendly." Morrison looked at the young woman. She reminded him of Amy Foster, who had died in the final battle against the Zephyrians. So many good people had been lost that day, but their sacrifice had saved the human race. "What do we know about these new aliens?" Morrison asked. "They call themselves the Kepler Union. They're a group of peaceful species that work together for trade and science. They've heard about what happened to the Zephyrians." Morrison raised an eyebrow. What did they hear? That humans are the species that destroyed the most powerful military force in the galaxy. They want to be our friends, not our enemies. Morrison chuckled. The galaxy had learned quickly. Word traveled fast among the stars. The species that had once dismissed humanity as primitive animals now spoke of them with respect and fear. "Send a reply," Morrison said. "Tell them we're interested in peaceful contact, but also make sure they understand our rules." "What rules, sir?" "We come in peace, but we're prepared for war. We offer friendship to those who deserve it. But we will destroy anyone who threatens innocent people. That's the human way." The young officer nodded and began typing the message. Morrison watched her work and thought about how much had changed. When he was young, humans had wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew they were part of something much bigger, but they also knew they could hold their own. A few hours later, Dr. Jennifer Walsh arrived at the communications center. She was older now, with gray hair and lines on her face, but her eyes were still sharp. She had become Earth's leading expert on alien technology. "Jake, I wanted to show you something," she said, holding up a small device. "What is it?" "A new quantum communicator. We've improved on the alien design. This one can send messages instantly across the entire galaxy." Morrison whistled. "That's incredible. What are you going to do with it?" Jennifer smiled. "I want to send a message to every intelligent species in the galaxy. Not a threat or a warning, just an introduction." "What would it say?" "That humanity is here. That we're part of the galactic community now. That we're ready to be friends with anyone who wants peace. And that we're ready to fight anyone who wants war." Morrison thought about this. It was a bold idea. Broadcasting to the entire galaxy would announce humanity's presence to species they had never met. Some might be friendly. Others might see humans as a threat to be eliminated. "Do it," he said finally. "It's time the galaxy knew who we really are." Jennifer activated the device. The message went out instantly, traveling across millions of light years in seconds. On thousands of worlds, alien species received the same simple message. This is humanity. We are from the planet Earth in the Sol system. We have joined the galactic community. We seek friendship with peaceful species. We offer protection to those who need it. We promise destruction to those who threaten innocent life. We are here. We are strong. We are ready for whatever comes next. The response was immediate. Messages began pouring in from across the galaxy. Some were welcomes from friendly species. Others were challenges from hostile empires. A few were pleas for help for worlds under attack. Morrison read through the messages with amazement. The galaxy was full of life, full of civilizations, full of stories. And